Majority Leader Mitch McConnell warned Republican senators not to challenge Joe Biden's Electoral College certification next month. But Senator Elect Tommy Tuberville of Alabama may not comply with that. The former Auburn football coach suggested while campaigning in Georgia that he would support a challenge to the election results, one that's being led by fellow Alabama lawmaker Congressman Mo Brooks. Tuberville's campaign hinted earlier this week that he is, quote, seriously considering that. Reacting to the comments, President Trump tweeted of Tuberville, quote, that's because he is a great champion and a man of courage. More Republican senators should follow his lead. We had a landslide victory, wrote the president, and then it was swindled away by the Republican Party, but we caught them do something. So, Joe, it appears the president has found at least one, and this is quite a way for the senator-elect to enter the Senate by defying the majority leader as his first act.
It really is something. And John Heilman, can you imagine your first act defying the majority leader who has begged the senators not to do that? That's not going to be good for the state of Alabama. And two, by taking part in the president's attempt to stage a coup against the incoming president of the United States and do everything he can do to undermine America's faith in their electoral system. Let's see. Piss off Mitch McConnell, one. Two, undermine American democracy. Three, do the work that Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un and the Iranian mullahs have been trying to do for decades now, get Americans to have less faith in their own democratic institutions. That's quite a trifecta for Tommy Tuberville, a guy that thinks still that his family fought in World War II to stop socialism.
Yeah, here's the thing, Joe. The best thing about this, it's not just the trifecta. You got all three of those things. And then here's the fourth thing. And you're going to do all of that, and you're going to fail. Because if you're the guy in the Senate who disputes the Electoral College, that just opens a vote in the United States Senate, right? And on the House side, the same thing happens. Okay, so now we get to January 6th. Because Donald Trump has gotten these two moronic lackeys, one on the House side, one on the Senate side, to dispute the results of the certified results of the Electoral College, we now get to have a vote in the House and Senate over whether to push the process into the strange, back to the House with the delegations and all that. But that's not where you go first. The first is you have an up or down vote in the House and Senate. That vote is doomed to fail in the House because Democrats control the House, and that's the end of the story. It's probably going to fail in the Senate, too, because there's going to be enough Republicans who are going to break from Trump lunacy to not dispute the Electoral College. So you're Tommy Tuberville. You're going to do all the things you just said, and it's all going to be for the cause of naught. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to actually overturn the Electoral College. So you're going to fail in the process. All you're doing here is making Donald Trump happy and accomplishing the other three things that you laid out that are all bad things. So, I mean, dear God, could you imagine a less inspirational, a more pathetic way of making your debut in national politics than what Tommy Tuberville is planning to do? It's mind-blowing.
Maybe I need to say a few words to Coach Tuberville. Coach, come here for a second. Listen, here's the deal, okay, son? I understand that you're new at this, and I understand that sometimes when you get the ball and you're running down the field and people are cheering, you like to look up in the stands and maybe dance around and play for the cheap seats. But let me put it down as W.D. Childers says, let me put the grass down there where the goats can eat it, okay? Here's what you're going to be doing, all right? You're going to be pissing off your coach. His name's Mitch McConnell, and he won't forget it. And, yeah, you may suffer, but so will the people in the great state of Alabama. That's number one. Number two, I know all those fancy things you don't want to hear about, undermining American democracy. So I won't talk to you about that, but number three, the players that you're on the field with, you're setting them up, every one of them, to make a vote that's going to make them deeply unpopular in their home state. That would be like you being a quarterback and intentionally lazing a ball right over the middle, high in the air to get a wide receiver extended up as high as he can get extended so he gets his head knocked off. That'd be like you doing that 3 or 4 times in a row. So what do you think happens to you when you go back to the huddle after doing that? After intentionally setting your fellow players up to get their heads knocked off at home just so you can play to the cheap seats? That, my friend, is what Bear Bryant might call bad form. I don't actually know if Bear Bryant ever used the term bad form, but I'm using it here. That's bad form, and that's bad for you, and that's bad for the people of the state of Alabama. Donald Trump, he's going to be golfing in Scotland and getting lots of money in Saudi Arabia and Russia and China and Qatar and all across the world. And you're still going to be on that field with your fellow players who you're setting up to get their heads knocked off. So I might not look at President Trump's tweets at this point. I might look around at the people that you're going to be working with every day for the next 6 years. And believe you me, you're talking to somebody who's been there and who understands you're rowing in a very small boat. So be careful with what you do, Coach Tuberville, because you're going to pay for it by playing for the cheap seats.